Hi everyone, in this video I will explain you how you can start with IFS Cloud Mobile Development as a customization work. So I have a requirement in my end to introduce new two entities, part order and part order lines. Those are related with parent-child relationship. So what I have done is first I have created two entities in work code folder, two entities, cpart order and the cpart order lines. So these are the attributes which required for the cpart order description, and the enumeration field called destination, which will save two values like technician and the customer, and the other fields. So I have enabled state diagram for this entity as well. You can see the details here. And for cpart order line, so these are the attributes which are fields which are needed for the part order lines. And here I have defined the reference, the parent child relationship to the cpart order. So my requirement, I need IFS Cloud Arena page for this cpart order and part order line. So you should be able to insert new records, and the record should be editable by considering relevant status, and also all the CRUD operation need to be done from the IFS Arena end. So for that I have created new client and projection pages in Arena side. You can see in here part order handling, the projection file. So I have override the entity which we have created newly and added some of the reference we are needed for the client to use as a LOVs. You can see, and the client end also have created a page called part order and added the navigator as well, when the user can search from the part order and can open the page. And in the page section I have added the state indicator, and the CRUD actions also enabled based on the object stated. I have added one tab. In this case I have only one tab, part order lines. So for the details views also it should be possible to navigate from the part order line section. So here the group I have created, so the part order and the list for the part order lines. This is the state indicators. So for the color changes I have defined like this, define different emphasis. Next I will show you the part order lines projection file. Here I have override the part order line entity, and same way I did for the part order, the navigation entries added here, part order lines. So for the page I have included the list to list out all the part order lines. That's it. So when you have published, deployed this, so Arena page will be available on the IFS Cloud, and that the user can add the details and change whatever the values there. So the next requirement I had was to introduce these two entities to the IFS MW variant as two new tiles to the home page. To do that, I have to customize the IFS service engineering app. In this case, custom is using service engineering app. So what I have done is I just customized service engineering app .app file and the .client and the .projections. So it will give us 3 customized files. Later you can add the .offline and the .plsvc files by right clicking and add resources if it's not generated automatically for you. So here what I have done is, so first I will open the .app file. Here I have added my 2 new entities to the sync entities section. So the part order and part order line. So whatever the changes when you are doing from the mobile end, so you need to sync it to the IFS Cloud end. So if you have not added this your newly created 2 entities, so the sync process is not working, so it will give you a kind of an error from the IFS mobile end from the transaction section. So you should need to be added this part order and the part order line to the sync entities. So if you need only to filter some the data based on the you need to visible only some of the data to the mobile end, so you can have the offline where conditions based on a requirement. And the transaction group means, so even let's say you have an issue on your part order called part order 1, then when you are trying to create any other part order, it will not process, it will wait on the queue. So if you have added a transaction group, so even though you have a failed transaction in your queue, so the other transaction can process. That's the purpose and the advantage we have when using the transaction group. And also for the sync policy, you can define when and how this should syncs to the IFS Cloud end. Here I have used the sync schedule as a sync policy as a batch and sync schedule as to run it at midnight. So below two are like some of the virtuals I have used for the creating some of the assistants in the IFS the mobile end. So to sync the data, those two also added to the sync entities property. And the last one is a query I have defined in .projection file in the service engineering app. So to transfer data to the cloud end, same way you need to define the sync policy for that as well. So I will show you the .client file first. Here the 2 entries, like the same way I did for the work order end. Here I have added for the part order and the part orders to list down all the part orders for the 2 different tiles. I have created different icons for the navigator, and the tile will show different icons on in the home page. The same way the page is defined here for the part orders, and it will list down all the part order list, and the page will display the part order details. Same way the groups, whatever the way you can structure, you can add there, and the command groups. Based on your requirement, you can define whatever the command or whatever the logic you need to write. But in here I'm just giving the basic understanding how you can do the mobile development work. So the dot projection is and the dot client is mainly the same way like we are doing the IFS Arena development work in the normal way. So with projection you can override the entity and include the entity sets whatever the things you are going to use in this projection. So the references can add it to the entity. This is a query I have explained you before. Add to the sync entities. This queries I'm using in my projection. And the important thing is you can see the sum of the actions and the functions I have defined as offline, sync policy as offline. So if you add the property like this, you need to write the logic behind it in .offline file. That's the different part is IFS mobile development work. You need to have a knowledge of IFS Arena native development. So next I will show you the .offline file. This is the way it's like right in IFS Arena native. So whatever the things you are doing in the offline mode, then it will execute these procedures and functions, and when you are back in online, it will transfer to the mobile end. Transfer to the IFS Cloud end. When you are working with actions for the state changes, make sure to use this property perform actions. Otherwise, when you are changing the status, it will only work in the mobile end and it will not transfer to the IFS Cloud end. But if you use this perform action, it will help to transfer the changes to the IFS Cloud end. So the PLSVC file, same way as a Arena development, you can define your logics here. So that's mainly I want to explain with you and the things you can do with IFS mobile development. So thank you for watching.